Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. This is Baraton TV, here and hereafter. This is a day, indeed, that the Lord has made. It's been a long day of elections, especially for the senatorial positions. We've also had the representatives for international students, the postgraduate, and of course, it's been a success. Tonight, back in studio once again, the exclusive panel. Oh my goodness, this is a day we've all been waiting for. The president, the executive, the highest office. It's gonna be very interesting. The deputy president is also accompanied. Or am I saying the deputy president? It's definitely gonna be one of these two contestants. We have only one president. We have only one deputy president. Who is it gonna be? I wonder. This discussion is gonna be hot. It's gonna be hotter than the word itself. In studio, my name is Arasai Noksinde. You can also call me Mr. X if you got some minute. Well, I'm also joined with my co-host. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, then we kick off the game.
Well, once again we are back, and today we are back big. We are hosting the presidential aspirants for the Sabu government. It's going to be an amazing interview tonight. Keep watching. My name is Jared Onyango.
All right, thank you very, very much, Jared Onyango. Well, like I've always said, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. Well, that's just purely science. In reality, in the ground, things are different. The higher you go, the hotter it gets. The higher you climb on the ranks, the higher and hotter the responsibility. Tonight, in studio, joined by one of the presidents. I don't know who it is. I'm gonna interview two, but of course, it's just gonna be one. Let's get to know them. Next to me, please introduce yourself, and of course, one of you is gonna be the president. Tell us who it is.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Billy Ayeko, and I'm a student from the Department of Theology and Religious Studies.
All right, thank you very, very much. You're also not, you're actually a unit. You go as a unit. If you go down, you go down with your partner. If you go up, you climb together. So please introduce your partner.
Okay, with me, here is my deputy. She's called Emma Cherop.
All right, Emma Cherop, please tell us from which department?
From the Department of Education, Humanities and Social Sciences.
All right, thank you very much. On the other side, we also have an aspirant for the presidential seat. He's going to introduce himself and also introduce his partner. This is a political partner.
Yes, good evening. I'm Ruta Kinyatich from the Department of Education, aspiring for the Sabu president. With me is my deputy running mate, Kesara Faith.
All right, Gesara Faith, we also want to hear your voice. So, from which department?
My name is Gesara Faith from the Department of Education, Humanity and Social Sciences.
All right, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching, like I've always said, leaders are chosen by God. Even the president will be chosen by God. But remember, God will never come down. He will never physically come down to cast his vote. You have an obligation, constitutional mandate, an obligation by the Constitution to vote for who you think is best. Failure to vote, you're actually voting in rogue leaders. And I say rogue because indeed it's rogue leaders. Let's vote based on ideologies. One of these two is going to be your best. You better listen, take your time and examine how they tackle the question, how good they know the Constitution, how good they are ready to serve you. This is the highest position in Sabu, and therefore it requires the highest. In everything, actually, you need to be number one. At least know everything or know something about everything. I wonder who is going to be the president between these two. This is a panel that gives you the best interviews, and of course, we don't make leaders. We only try to show you who the leaders are. Let's get to them once again. And just give them a very simple question. In Kiswahili, they say swali mboga sana. Sabu, I just want to know, the word SABU, the abbreviation SABU that we always use. What does it stand for? I mean, it's mboga sana. Ruto, let's go.
Students of Baraton University Association.
All right, students.
Students
of
Association
Baraton.
of Baraton University.
Okay, student.
Student Association of Baraton University.
All right, I was afraid. Is that true? Deputy for Billy Ayeko?
It is true.
That's true?
Yeah.
All right, that was just mboga swali mboga sana. Now let's get into some little bit of business. Since you hold the highest position, definitely much is expected out of you. What are the specific powers and responsibilities of the Students' Congress? This, we have about 13 very important specific powers and responsibilities of the Congress. So you're going to tackle this as a group. I'm going to allow you to tackle this as a group. I don't know who wants to start, that group or this group. All right, nobody wants to.
We will start.
All right.
The Student Congress constitutes of the student government.
Okay.
And it's apart from the student executive arm. And in the Congress, we have the senators. And these particular senators, they represent various schools. And also we have residential senators that represent the students in the student government. Yes.
All right, so that's just an introduction. You've not even tackled a single, specific power and responsibility which that Congress holds. That's just an introduction for the executive, perhaps.
I was coming to that, by the way.
All right, let's go.
So as they are the people who are representing the students in the Congress, they debate upon issues pertaining the students.
Okay.
And also even in the event of a constitution maybe change or maybe amendment, there's a committee that is formulated, and with the approval of the Congress, they debate on issues that affect the students directly.
All right.
They also represent their various grievances in the student government. Yes.
Anything else? Your deputy can assist you, by the way.
Okay, fine. Oh, another thing about the SABU is that we have the senators who represent the students' agendas, or they also act as a link between the administration and students. And most of the time, they help students on different issues, for example, depending on the senatorial seats they are.
All right. I'm going to move to the other side, so at least you don't exhaust. Remember, there are 13. I said there are 13. You've only given 2.
Okay.
We still have 11 more. Let's go the other side. Ruto,
Yes.
go first, then your deputy will assist you with another one.
One of the functions of the Congress is to liaise with the University Council in terms of ensuring that the students get their conscious, their freedom of expression, and deliberating matters concerning the bills that are passed.
Okay.
Yep.
Those are 2 points connected, or did I get it right?
Yes.
Sorry. One more.
Another function of the Students' Congress is that it creates unity outside Baraton University. It creates a connection between the university itself and the people who are residing outside the university, that is the community.
All right.
Yes.
All of you have given correct answers. Round 2. Let's start again let's take the reverse order. Remember the 13? That's only 4 you've given. How many still do we have? All right. Mathematics might be hard. Let's just go.
I think another function of the Student Congress is to create, I think I'll repeat my point. It's to create a good image between the it has to show unity between we, as my fellow aspirant has said, we have 3 that join to make the Student Congress. We have the administration, we have the students, and we have the leaders. So the function of the Student Congress is to have unity between the 3.
All right. All right. So you act as a link. All right. Ruto?
Another function of the Student Congress is to act on behalf of the students and to represent the students when maybe a member wants to join in and he has right to the president. Their work is to approve that to approve the request of that person.
Okay.
Either to be the member. Or
Okay.
not. Yeah.
Right, let's get to the other side. Same order.
Okay. Another work of the Congress of the SAB is that they ensure that they are frequent or regular meetings with the students so that they get their agendas or grievances and present them to the administration or the university body or administrative body.
All right, Billy.
Okay, as I was reading the Constitution, I discovered that the duties of the Congress, they keep on mirroring one another, but the main duty of the Congress is to represent students, and apart from representing students, the Congress, it acts like a body that tends to unify the administration and the student body, because the main clients in this particular institution are the students,
Okay.
and they're the consumers of the services that the school renders to them. And therefore, the Congress serves as a watchdog over the affairs of the students and how the administration also offers their services to the students. So the main aim is just to offer a smooth running between the government of the student body, and also with the administration, so that there's smooth running of the institution.
All right, so let's just take one last round. Let's go. Kisos.
Okay. Another work of the Congress is that they ensure there is a regular sessions to update students on their needs or agendas they presented earlier, so that this Congress ensure that what the grievances that students give out, they are being sorted.
I see I'm still wearing my yesterday's shirt. Anyway, let's move on. Kruto? It's the last lap.
Maybe another function of the Congress is to articulate matters concerning students pertaining their review of the amendments or articles.
Okay, Gesari?
And also another function that I remember of the Student Congress is to give feedback, provide feedback.
Okay, what do you mean by feedback?
And by feedback, it doesn't mean only from the university council to the student. It can also be from the students to the board, the administrative board, and forth.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, if the voters, electorate are listening, I'm not going to say who's right, who's wrong. You must be having a constitution. All you need to do is just go and check. I'll be asking more questions from the constitution. Just go and confirm what they are saying, whether it's true or false. And of course, you can also go back to YouTube and preview and review the answers. And of course, with the constitution, you can know whether they're lying to you or confusing you or just telling you the truth. All right, so as I said, your office requires a lot. This is the highest position, Sabu. And of course, much is expected. Let's keep the deputies to a short rest. Let me deal with the presidents. So the president has about 11 authority and responsibilities as provided in the Constitution. Can you outline them? Just to be sure that you understand your roles. Can you outline them? So what you'll do, we have about 11. So you can do 5, he can do 5, leave 1 for the viewer.
Let me begin. Some of the 5 functions of the president, of the student president. Number 1, the sub-president represents the student in the Senate and also in Academic Standards Committee.
Okay.
Then secondly, the sub-president, he chairs various committees,
Okay.
and also various organizations pertaining the student body. Then the third duty of the sub-president is to be one of the signatories to the financial transactions of SABU. Then the fourth function of the sub-president is to protect the students' right as outlined in Article 28 that contains the duties of the students to the university.
Okay, last
and
one.
also Article 29 that contains the limitations of right, and also Article 30 that also, Article 29 that calls for the rights of the students. Then
Okay.
Article 30 talks about the limitations of right.
All right.
So that is the function, the fourth function of the sub-president. Then the last or the fifth function of the sub-president, the sub-president also chairs all of the committees of meetings, and he also receives letters.
Wait. I'm following very keenly. You're repeating
Yes.
yourself.
Okay. The sub-president also receive letters from members who want to be part of the university sub-organization through a written letter that they send to the sub-president so that they can be part of the university sub-group through affiliate membership.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the other, to Ruto.
Yes, the first role of the president is apart
And
from
please, you're mentioning the rest.
yeah,
You're not repeating.
apart from representing the SABU at the Senate and the Academic Standards Committee, he also has the responsibility to represent them at the Sub-Affairs Committee Club of the University Council. The second one is to have the full responsibility and all operation of the SABU. He protects the rights of the students as stated in Article 28, the duties of the university students, and Article 29, the rights of the students, fundamental rights of students, and Article 30, the limitation of rights. He has also the role to vote in case of a tie, and he should do so in the best or the best for the best decision upon informed.
Last one.
He is responsible for all operations of SAB.
You've mentioned that as your second point.
Yes,
That's your
but
second
we have
point.
the full responsibility and authority over the signatory.
Okay. Well, that was well done for both of you. Let's leave that and go to the Deputy President. Follow suit, your responsibilities. All right, who wants to go first? All right, Kesare.
Okay. The first function of the Deputy President is to stand in for the President in case of absentia, but with consent from the President. Number 2, the Deputy President will sit in meetings, that is the disciplinary meetings, and act as a student representative in the council. Number 3, the Deputy President will be a welfare manager or will be in charge of welfare in the SABO. Number 4, he will protect the rules of the constitution or protect SABO constitution. Number 4, he will also, number 5, sorry, he will also protect the rights of the students accordingly.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Okay. The roles of the Deputy President, one is that he will perform any duty as assigned by President time by time. Secondly, he will act as a public relation officer. Third, he will work with the public officer regarding the security matters. And then another thing, he will be in charge of coordinating the Congress services with the community. Then another thing, finally, that he will be charged in the students' welfare matters.
All right, I have a question to you. The Deputy President acts as public relation. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well done to all of you. And I think you're actually all doing very well. I love the spirit. This, as I said, is going to be hot. And it's getting hotter. They're doing very well. You're burning. They're burning. The bush is going to burn so fast. Let me ask my co-host to at least ask one question. Then we get back to this business.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, we'll give the president a break for now and concentrate on the deputy presidents. Definitely one of you will be elected in the office, right? And I want just to test your knowledge on the constitution. Hopefully you have read it. Now, as the deputy president, one of your role is to implement the constitution and its rules and regulations. The current constitution does not give any role to all the residential senators. What are your plans? Or rather, what plans do you have to avoid the conflict of role sharing by the senators once elected in office? We begin with you, Emma Cherop.
Okay, thank you for that chance. According to me, when I get that chance to be a deputy president, first thing, we'll go through the previous sub-constitution, look for where there is a problem, then sit as a sub-members, work on it, then get a solution on how to go with it. And then we can change the constitution, rectify on some problems.
Cherop, are you aware that the constitution cannot be changed for 2 years? Meaning that even your entire time in office, the constitution will still remain.
Okay. On that, I think we can work only as a members of the SACCO and consult each other on how to go about the matter.
Okay. And are you aware that the current constitution does not give any role to the senators, the residential senators?
Yeah.
Okay, back to you, Faith. Faith, what legal procedures will you follow to ensure the off-campus senators have roles?
Well, unfortunately to the situation, just as you have said, in order for us to provide them roles, we will have to work on the constitution. We work as sub, we are guided by the constitution. And just as you have mentioned, even in 100 days, if we are chosen, in 100 days, we cannot change the sub constitution. So, for us to create roles for these officers or senators, for residential senators, we will have to put aside the constitution and work on logic. Okay, we will have to sit down and say you cannot be without roles. You are chosen to do something, okay? Even if the constitution does not state your roles, you will have to do 1, 2, 3, okay? We will work on logic.
Now, a very quick question to both of you. Now, what plans do you have to avoid the conflict of role sharing by the senators? Definitely, there might be conflict of role sharing amongst them. What plans do you have? We begin with you, Faith.
Okay. Role sharing should not be a conflict. First of all, these residential senators are working for one purpose. For example, if it's senator of campus, they are working for the betterment of off-campus students, okay? There shouldn't be problems, there shouldn't be conflicts. So, for the senator of campus men, for example, he knows what he should be doing. When we put down the label of men and women, they are one. They will work for the betterment of all off-campus students. But there are some issues that men will have that they can't give to the off-campus ladies. For example, in appointments, when you want to clear your absences, and you are a lady and you feel like you have an issue, you cannot go to the senator of campus men, okay? So for us to remove this, I don't think there should even be conflict in such a situation.
If there be?
If there be, we will work on it.
Okay,
Yes.
Cherop, what do you have to say about this?
Okay, maybe I can add this on senatorial office of campus and ladies and men. I think they should do work according to, for example, when we have come down and as a sabu, we give them some roles. We expect them to work according to those roles that we give them. One, as we are talking now as outside students there, for example, in one plot, we have different gender. There are ladies and men. And I think, for example, when there is, for example, of campus lady, senator, I've gone to one plot, look for the condition of that plot. She can explain, or he can have that, they can have that conversation with off-campus men senator, share those issues, come up together, and have one solution.
Yeah,
so I think
in a situation, let me just interrupt you a bit. In a situation where, let's say there is a conflict of role sharing, let's just concentrate on that. What can you do as a deputy president, or what plans do you have if there be?
And maybe let me add this, since we have no roles, the Constitution gives no roles for the senators of campus especially, and in campus for the halls of residence. This would mean that these senators will actually be looking for what to do. They'll be looking for the job. And so you may find that a certain senator of campus, or rather in campus for dorm, would think that going to the cafeteria is actually my place. Yet, this is a role specified for gender and special interests. So
Okay.
that's where the conflict may come in, because there are no roles for the presidential senators.
as it has been said with our president that maybe after being elected as a sub members, because we knew that those people have those senators have no roles, we may look for some few things or some few roles for them so that they can guide them, because we can't elect a senator without roles. Nothing he or she will do there, because we should have roles, even if it is two, to guide them. So as sub members after election, we'll sit down, come even with 3 or 2 roles to guide them.
Yeah, and also to add on that, as Emma said, these people cannot be elected if there's nothing to do. They can't get into office if there's nothing. It's just that I think the Constitution, when it was made, they didn't state their roles.
By
And so
saying, if I'm getting you clear, by saying that these senators cannot get into office if they have nothing to do, are you just affirming that once you be elected, you'll send them off because they have actually nothing to do?
Why would I? They have roles.
Because the Constitution
No,
is a guide.
and that's why I answered that we will put logic into space.
Yes, one
These
of the...
people-
All right, it's just for the deputies, kindly.
They can't get into office if they themselves know what they're going to do, and people have elected them.
Right.
So we put logic and give them roles, just as Emma said. They'll have to have something to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, just a follow-up question for the deputies. You're talking about being logic and looking for something. You said you can even look for 3 roles, at least give them. You're talking about being logic. What is legal in giving them? What is the legal procedure of actually giving them that mandate to do whatever work you're assigning to them? This is for the deputy presidents. What is the legal procedure? Since you're talking about we will give them, are you going to call them in office and say, okay, you, so-and-so, you're the center of campus, your work is ABCD, okay, go. You come here, this is your work. Are you going to do it like that? We call that Kienyeji government. What is the legal procedure for actually giving them whatever roles you'd want to give them as deputy president or as a Congress?
Okay. After election, we come together as sub members with maybe with the administration board. And then we discuss about we have issue here about the roles of senator. What can we do about it? And then I think from there we'll get solutions from those 2 groups, administration and the sub members. Because when we come together as a group, we'll not lack anything to say or will not lack any roles for the senators.
All right. Yes, Sarah, what's your take?
Okay, my take is that before we get to the administration board, these senators of residence, they fall under the Dean's Council. So I think the first people to discuss this with will be the Dean's Council, especially the residence deans. So we'll have to, as Emma said, if we have roles, we'll have to discuss them with them. For example, the Dean of Campus Men, Dean on Campus Men, okay, sit down, place our roles on the table, and if it's according to their liking or maybe they have seen it to the best interest, then it may have a way through.
So legally, we're done?
Legally, I'm not aware of a place in the Constitution where it has been laid out to provide roles for these senators.
All right.
Not to my best knowledge.
All right.
Yes.
By legally, I mean, what legal directions would you take to add any or amend the Constitution? So when I talk about legal procedure, it means something outlined. When you need to add something into the Constitution, you must follow a specific guideline, which, of course, when you say you've not seen anything like rules, yet I asked for legal procedures. I was simply asking, what ways would you amend the Constitution? Definitely, you may not give them roles legally, but simply what I'm asking is what ways? Because adding anything to the Constitution is amending it, and that would require amendment. So the first thing that I expected to hear from you both is that the Constitution can actually not be amended, but, okay, you would maybe do ABCD to ensure that they can actually get something to do. Fine, let's put that to a close and get back to the presidents. As presidents, you're definitely the members of Academic Standard Committee. Can you mention at least 2 critical issues or cases you'll be dealing with in the Academic Standards Committee?
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. As the name suggests, Academic Standards Committee, it relates to matters of academic. And one of the things that the Academic Standards Committee do, we have the issues of exam irregularities and also exam maybe cheating.
Okay.
And they talk about those particular issues and how to go about them. Then apart from that, we also have issues to with the grading system and everything that pertains to examinations in this particular institution.
All right, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. Ruto, what's your take?
When the first of all, we are aware that the SABU was created and mandated. The first thing is in pursuit of academic excellence. And coming to the Academic Standards Committee, one of the things to look about is the constitution of the bulletin. We have some cases whereby the courses from some various departments, we have, for example, students who are doing for example, biology or chemistry. They meet some units which require some basic knowledge of mathematics, which is not a course they are doing. So one of the things is to consider in the Academic Standards Committee is such issues to balance on some 1-2 areas across all the schools.
All right.
Yeah, let's say involvement.
Second issue.
Another issue when we talk about the Standards Committee is the issue of when...
What committee is this again? Sorry, what
Academic Standards Committee.
Okay.
When we say, for example, matters testing the evaluation of students, towards the end, we have some matters that arise whereby there is no... When we talk about the evaluation of students toward the end and the course outline, because we have a number of students who are taught from different groups, so there are some issues that needs to be ironed out, which will raise them when the time is due. And we'll be unleashing our manifesto.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So probably let me begin with you.
Yes.
That same committee, Academic Standard Committee.
Yes.
Do you know its composition?
Yes.
All right. Let's go.
We have some members from the deans of schools.
Okay. Go ahead.
Apart from this, we have the members from the Senate and a representative of them.
Sorry, I didn't get your point.
I'm saying the Academic Standards Committee mostly is about the school deans.
Okay, school deans, you already mentioned it.
Yes.
So second group or persons?
Let me pass to you.
All right. Billy, he says, let me pass to you. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you so much, Mr. Ruto. Another composition of the Academic Standards Committee, we have the head of departments.
Okay.
Yes, so they also constitute that particular committee. Then, as he has said, we have the deans of various schools and the head of departments from various schools, and the deputy vice chancellor in charge of academic affairs.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Let me give my co-host to also give you a few questions.
Now, I'm still back to you, the two deputy presidents. And my question goes this way. What are some of the security matters that you know, and how do you plan to solve it? To solve any that can be critical. I'll repeat my question again. What are some of the security matters you know, and how you plan to solve any that will be critical? Emma, you go first.
Okay. Maybe one of the security matters. One is the maybe fire outbreaks. When there is fire outbreaks and you get a call from students, maybe you are not there, you need a call from the students, you need to contact with the organization or the officers in the security department, and then from there we can get a solution with them, and then go look and for the best solution to work on it.
Apart from fire?
Okay. Maybe another thing is about stealing. For example, most cases has been done outside there, out of campus. There is those people when students...
Kindly repeat your question.
Okay, my question goes this way. What are some of the security matters you know, and how do you plan to solve them? To solve any that will be critical.
We're dealing with critical. Okay, let's go.
Okay, I've already said about the fire outbreak. And I've just said that when we get an information from a site...
We're done with the
issue.
fire outbreak. That's a very
Okay.
critical matter.
Okay,
Security
fine.
issue, yeah. That's correct. Second one.
Another thing is maybe it can be fighting between students themselves or the students with the community. As a deputy, I need to get support from the security officers, call them, we get there and look for the solution. Because we can get there, maybe they are using knives to fight each other, and we should take an action. And even after calling the security officers, they may inform the police if they are around to work on it. Okay, I think that is
Okay, Faith.
Okay, to me, matters of security, everything is critical. Let's begin there. When it comes to security, everything is critical. So, for example, if in extreme cases, extreme security cases, let me begin with one that may be very crucial, is, for example, there's a strike. That's a security matter. Maybe some particular types of students or some students have stood up and they want to begin a strike. You know, you don't go rounding them up and asking, why do you want to? That will cause frenzy in the school. So in such a situation, you will meet up with these students. They may not come to you one-on-one, but you may have to find out what is happening. Why do you want to strike? And maybe find a ground for negotiation. Another situation that can be critical is in our country right now. For example, in the last month, we had some flying news around about, for example, Al-Shabaab. Not even for example, Al-Shabaab wanted to attack. They made an attempt at Kampala, and then there were some news that they will want to attack Kenya, okay? Such if you hear something like that, for example, even outside school, and hear from the community that there's been some security issues out here, you as a student, me as a deputy president, I will have to think about my students and the security. For example, when they're in session in a time like this, you'll have maybe find out by yourself what is going on. And if you feel it's an extreme case, it may happen to the students, talk to the next person, that is, for example, the Dean's Council. If they see it a point of interest, they will move up, and then the upper administration will get a solution for down here.
Okay, now just a follow-up question to the both of you. Which office deals with the security matters in the university? Faith.
I think it's the DVC SAS.
Are you sure?
The Deputy DVC SAS.
All right, give a chance to the other
Okay,
one.
Cherop.
I think it's a DVC's office and the deans, because in that group or in that board, they have already the security officers in there. So I think it is DVC's office.
I'm going to take you back to your roles, Emma. You mentioned your roles and you mentioned a certain office. One, you said that the student can actually act as public relation officer. There's another role that talks about public relations officer. Do you know about that that role in your docket?
Not much.
You sorry?
about it.
Know anything about your roles? About anything about public relation officer?
If not the one, you being a public relation officer between this university and the community. Yes.
Well, under your roles, it states very clearly that you'll work with a public relation officer. It matters security. So which office is in charge of security matters?
It's the Student Affairs Office.
Is
The
that,
DVC
is that so? You have the constitution? Is there any constitution in this room? Can you refer to it? This is a very critical issue, remember? We said this is a very critical issue.
Maybe you provide us with one. We did not
Jared,
manage to.
go to the next question. Let me get the constitution.
Okay. Now, still to you, the two deputies. Of course, you know, in charge of all students' welfare matters as the deputy president. If you get elected, what are your top priorities for the students? And kindly just mention two of the top priorities to the students' welfare.
Pardon your question.
Okay, my question goes this way. You are in charge of all students' welfare matters as the deputy president. If you get elected today, Emma and Faith.
All right, before you continue, kindly let me just read this out. On the roles of the deputy president. Okay, this is number 4. It says this: your role is to work with the public relation officer regarding security matters. Did you read the constitution?
Yes.
This is your role I'm reading. I mean, maybe you had one without this page or this number. So which office is responsible for security matters?
Is it
Do you
the
just ask?
security office? Is there something like that?
Emma, which office?
For me, I know there is a security officers, but according to my thing, it comes from the DVC's office.
Yes.
Okay,
They
I'm
are
gonna
different.
ask the presidents to tackle this issue. This is a role under deputy president, and I will read it out once again to you because, I mean, it says this. Role number 4. Yes, you are to work with public relations officer regarding security matters. So to the presidents, which office is in charge of security matters? This is a very sensitive.
Can I make a try before?
No, please, no, please, no. No, please, let me give Billy Yeko, and then
Okay. It's a tricky question, by the way, but what I can say is that we have this Deputy Vice Chancellor's in office in charge of student affairs
okay,
that deals with all issues pertaining to students' welfare and also
Okay.
their security.
Right.
Then we have the Security Council that constitutes of the security officers in the school and also with the help of the Dean's Council. So it's a branch or it's an arm of the Deputy Vice Chancellor's Student Affairs Office that deals with security issues and public relations issues.
okay, Ruto.
Yes, of course, my understanding of definitely here in Baraton we have the head of security, and the head of security coordinates with the, as they have stated, the DVC's office, which also the Dean's Council work in that alongside the DVC's office.
All right.
So it's
I'll be honest with you, I'm disappointed.
Can we take a shot, a last shot?
I am disappointed with all of you.
Don't-
I've read this role to you several
That's
times.
why I'm saying, can I take a shot
No,
last?
I'm
It's
sorry.
the public relations.